What's up, Mike? How you doing?
Morning, Chris. Great. How about you?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. So, thanks for jumping on the podcast. I always like to tell the listeners how I know somebody if I do. A lot of guests that come on the show have no idea who they are, and I'm learning about them for the first time. And with you, I feel like we probably casually met through Instagram. I looked actually this morning, and it was like Octoberish of last year. We met
Yeah.
and we just we kind of talked a little bit. You sell real estate in the city that I live in, and so I think that's how we probably got connected on Instagram. And then remember we went to a Starbucks one day and just talked shop, and we've been friends since. So I've seen you growing so quickly, and I wanted to have you on the show so we could talk about this. So Mike, tell the listeners what got you into real estate. Kind of do like a 2 minute background of like what led you into real estate, why'd you pick real estate, and where things have come from.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on. So I had a 30-year corporate background in hospitality and the fitness business as a senior director. Long story short, my wife was involved in real estate. She loves buying and selling homes. She loves building new homes. So she actually became a realtor in Virginia. Started to get my license there. Just didn't finish because we were just so busy inside of the corporate world. She had her license in Illinois, and then we moved out here to Phoenix, and COVID hit, and I was approached by a broker inside of my workplace, and I was like, you know what, this may be the right time to jump off the corporate ladder and jump into our own business. And I've been blessed for the past 2.5, 3 years to be in the business and to be in real estate.
So what did this person say that they came in and met you at your corporate job that made you? I mean, that's a huge leap to go from like corporate America to now I'm going to be, self-employed. COVID's going on. Like, how did you? I mean, you said that so casually, but there has to be a lot of behind the scenes on how that decision was made. So, how did that decision get made?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. There was extensive conversations. It didn't just happen overnight. It was, a lot of timing, as I'm a firm believer that God puts you in the right place at the right time with the right people. Just like meeting you, through Instagram, talking about cold plunges as I was going through my back surgery and things like that.
Right on. So you've been licensed for like 2.5 years.
Yeah, 2.5 going on 3 years.
Okay. What'd the first year look like?
First year was amazing. Out of the gates, I took off. Luckily, had a lot of leads. Was able to convert quite a bit of leads. So we closed 41 transactions our first year in real estate, top
Wow.
2% of all agents. So yeah, just had an amazing jump off, and I'm grateful for that and all the support I had throughout the process.
How do you do 41 transactions your first year? That's a lot. That's a lot.
Well,
Like that's more than most people do. I mean, there's probably 20-year vets that don't do 41 transactions a year. So how are you pulling that off?
yeah, I think, as we talk a lot about it, it's about discipline, it's about time management, it's about your, customer service skills. I work for, a really, really amazing luxury brand that, really, talked and really, we preached and I taught about, delivering 5-star service. So I think it's, again, there's a lot of agents in Arizona. So, I thought about jumping off in the business and what's going to make me stand out, what's going to be my unique selling features. And, we decided, my wife and I, that it was going to be all about our service proposition and how we deliver that to our clients and partners around us. It's not just your clients, but it's your lenders, it's your inspection company, it's your title company. And, those are all integral pieces to our business. Without them, we wouldn't be able to achieve that massive success the first year.
So I know you were getting Zillow leads at the time. That was that a bulk of your 41 deals in your first year, or what would you say was your ratio of how you were getting your leads?
Yeah, that's a great question. So yeah, the first year, I mean, I didn't have a sphere. We were new to Phoenix. So 95% of my business came from Zillow. So Zillow was a huge contributor to my early success in the industry.
Very cool. And so what were the biggest like what were the biggest pros, biggest cons of working like a Zillow account like that?
I mean, the pros are obviously you have leads, you have good lead flow. I was able to convert at a very high level. And the cons are that you're always on call, 24, not 24/7, but your phone starts ringing early, it rings late. And of course, they also take a large split of your commission. That's probably the biggest con.
When did you start making a transition? As far as like when did you just wake up one day and think like, there might be another way to do business like outside of Zillow?
Yeah. So my second year, was about 50-50 split. So 50%, self-generated referral business, 50% of it, was still Zillow. And then this year, 2023, move forward, that ratio changed to about 75-25. And then, I started talking to you and really didn't have any idea that you could, produce your own leads, that you could have your own Google leads coming through and keep your commission. And so I started, weaning myself off of the Zillow leads because I didn't want to give back and I didn't really need to. I had enough referral business coming in that I felt secure and confident that I could build without it.
So Mike, you've only lived in Arizona for 3 years?
Three going on 4 years.
Okay. So when you say referral business, I mean, where is this referral business coming from? I mean, that's you've only been here for a little bit of time. So where is this referral business coming from? Just like the past clients that were referring you out, or is this actually like your network that you've built now in Arizona?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. Again, delivering that service that we talked about earlier, leads to referrals. Staying in contact, making sure that we're in contact. That I'm in contact with my past clients that have closed every month, either with a text message, email, phone call. Sending them an anniversary card or whatever it is, and then of course sphere, just talking to people in the community, just having conversations. And again, partnerships, lender referrals, different, title referrals. So just really working with everyone in the community to build.
So what's your follow up look like after you close with a client? So like all your past clients, what did you have like a structure on how you communicate with them after they close?
Yeah, I mean, the first step is, trying to gain a review, so that's the first thing that I try to do. The next thing is, putting in, market activity for them, making sure that they know, what their home value is doing, so that way that they have that email coming through once per month. And then again, I put into my task list, reaching out to them monthly, either by phone or text. And then, of course, birthdays, anniversaries, sending them out gift cards on their birthdays, sending them out, a gift for their home anniversaries.
Is that something that like how are you keeping that organized like systematically? Is it all through like a CRM?
It's through CRM, and then you've taught us how to use your the database and gathering that. So that's really the next steps to extend that and to make that more efficient. I love your system of just printing it out at the beginning of the month and knowing what you have to go through and who you have to stay in contact with, because of course as your past sales grow, that becomes more cumbersome. But we do need to gather a lot more data and information, because I think we can grow our referral base even more than what we have it at now.
It's interesting when you get to a spot where, the servicing of real estate and the keeping up with your past clients, like you just said, as you get more and more past clients, you're like, wait, this could be actually a job in itself, right? And so it's like you've got your follow up that you've got to do in the day, then you've actually has to go service your clients, put listings on the market, go show homes and things like that. I think as the years go on, Mike, what's going to happen for you, because you're really good at, getting those referrals, that turns into, a pretty several hours a day where you're just like, hey, I've got to communicate with my past clients and things like that. I know we were on a Zoom the other day on like a training that we do, and you were kind of talking about those next steps of like a VA and things like that. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a direction you think you're going to go, or?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a direction we're going to have to go. I mean, we're looking to grow our business massively, and in order to do that, we need to leverage. My wife is she's a great partner in the business. She loves to go out and show homes. She loves to do those things. But we're going to need some leverage behind the scenes to really keep up with that. The offense and the defense is critical, and yeah, it was, great, putting that question out there and thinking about next steps. So I plan on leveraging that as soon as we get back from our vacation next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep a list on your phone like I do. It says things I don't want to do anymore.
I love
I
that.
keep a list on my phone, and it's just a note. And as I'm going through the day, I realize I'm like, hey, there's some things that I'm like, I have to do, right? There's no one, like, I'm just not there's always going to be something that you have to do that you necessarily don't want to do. So there's something freeing about just keeping that list. And when I put that stuff on the list, I then look through it like weekly and I decide, like, hey, is there anything that I can offload to anybody that I currently have on staff? Or I look at them like, nope, that's still my job. But it just keeps you in that framework of, it just keeps you like, it keeps it in the back of your mind where you're thinking, like, I don't necessarily always want to do this. And so it just keeps you in a space where you're always searching for, like, how could I offload this to someone? How could I find someone to do this? And also I think it's therapeutic, just to write down something that you're like, I don't really like doing this, but I have to. And I keep that list, and it just makes it feel like a little bit more comfortable, as if I'm acknowledging that it's not my favorite task to do. So when you
Yeah.
said, Mike, when you talked about, so getting your own leads, what's that look like for you?
Yeah. So, again, one of the greatest things about joining your team is your playbook. You have your playbook, you have the contacts. So it was really, getting set up with Asterix, marketing. They're obviously managing Google, pay-per-click leads coming through. Dave Z's been great, and adding in some other referral sources that actually they're initiated but they haven't kicked in yet. So between referrals and the Google pay per clicks, really that's been the focus and the crux of the business that I've been focused on right now.
So explain Google pay per click for listeners that are like, I have not one. I mean, because I use the word PPC all the time, pay per click, Google, leads. What does that look like? Explain that for the listeners.
Yeah, so basically, they're out there. There's different searches that are set up, specific to my criteria, the area that I want to service, the cities, the types of properties, and basically, leads are flowing into my CRM. Into Sierra. Then on the back end, I have GGMS. So GGMS is following those leads and seeing who's active, and then alerting me of, reaching out. But of course, as we always talk about, it's about speed to lead. So that Google lead comes in, it's how quickly can I, communicate with them after the, GGMS is the alerts are actually, taking it through the process. So that's it's been great to see those leads come through, own them yourself, know that you're going to keep the commission off of those leads, and most importantly, people that you're serving from your company.
Yeah, it's so cool to see you implement that in your business. It's been so rewarding in ours, and to see you just take that playbook and run with it. You were mentioning recently, like, your fourth internet lead turned into a pretty decent sized transaction. What does that look like?
Yeah, so the fourth lead that came in, it was she actually gave the email to register on the site, but her phone number was wrong, and we started engaging into some conversation via email. She did some research like great consumers do, and found out that we were both from Chicago. We actually found out that we probably knew each other from the health club industry, from working out there. Found out a little bit more about what she was looking to do with her life. She wanted to retire. She was looking for a roadmap. So we had, I think, 2 or 3 phone meetings, and finally she decided that it was after talking to her financial advisor, which I suggested she do, tell me what your nets are, what you need to net out of the sale of your home. So we ended up getting her under contract last Monday on a purchase of her condo. She said she hasn't been this excited in the past 3 years since COVID hit, that she finally has a path and a plan for retirement. We did photos at her property last Thursday. Homes on the market as of Monday, getting great activity. So fourth lead, will basically cover my marketing costs through Google PPC for the next 2 years.
It's wild. I mean, that's like those are the coolest stories when I hear them, of just people who bet on themselves, how to spend a little bit of marketing dollars and just went after it. I mean, to think of, when I started doing internet leads probably 4, maybe 5 years ago, it just blew my mind that somebody would go online, put in their information, and then I would end up doing a transaction with them. And they would turn out to be like super cool people, great past clients, refer me people from their state that they were moving from or their friends and family. And I'm like, this is so cool to think that you can control your business. And there's so many realtors out there right now that, they don't think that they can get leads any way outside of having a big sphere of influence or a big network. And I'm like, no, if you can just spend a little bit of money, and it's not that expensive. We get paid pretty handsomely in the real estate business with our commission. So it's like not costing that much to acquire a customer. And then that customer closes and then they refer you business. Like, it's just like a never ending party. So it's just really cool to see. So what's your biggest, with those like internet leads, like what's like your biggest challenge with them?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on a little bit to what you were saying, and then I'll talk about the biggest challenge. So, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, this lead will be a client for life. She's already referred me to her network that she has in Arizona. She's already promoting to one of her, to 3 of her girlfriends that want to sell their places. So, that one lead isn't just one lead. It's a client for life, as you said. This is a friendship. To me, as Ricky Caruth always says, it's relationships over transactions. That's really the key.
Yeah.
I think going back to your question, the challenge with those leads is, of course, you're not going to convert everyone. You're going to face some rejection. Not everyone's going to answer your call. Not everyone's going to put in the accurate information. But once you get to that one, again, lead number 4, and then the other night I had the same type of thing. Called a lead right away. Woman called me back within an hour, found out that she wants to list her property and upgrade, and she wants a pool. And so now we have a listing appointment set up with her next week. So that's just how it works. You just have to, it's a numbers game. You just have to keep going through, stay disciplined, stay active with your leads, stay on top of it, follow up, and you will convert them.
So do you have like a structure on, do you have a pretty consistent structure on calling these people in the day, or is it just go service business, and then when you find time in the day to call leads, you do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's, as we talk, I don't like leaving my office or my desk at night with a task in my CRM. So I like to stay focused and disciplined on every single lead, but it's when can I get to them? When can I get back to offense and producing new business? And when I can do that. So that's again where the virtual assistant I know can come in handy, because I don't have to be in the office calling and following up with those leads and staying on top of it. I can be out generating more business, marketing for our business, even more.
Do you feel like there will be a time here soon where you up your marketing budget on the Google leads, or is that something where it's not even on the horizon?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that that's part of the next step of the process. Right now in the transition, it's a matter of making sure that I have, my new CRM down, knowing how to navigate through it, being comfortable and confident that I can take on more leads because I don't want to just throw money at the wall and not be able to be efficient and work the leads. That wouldn't be a good use. But yeah, I definitely see, and I've already talked to my wife and business partner about, what we need to do in the next few months as we ramp up our business.
Nice. So I saw recently you were posting on Instagram, and it was about a showing that was really far away from where you live, and you had somebody show the property for you. I just explained that feeling because I know when you posted that, I've seen many agents who have somebody show houses for them, and they go through this like little bit of anxiety. How did that process go for you, and how did it feel?
Yeah, I mean it's as I probably talked to Dave Z about this 2 months ago, and it took a little bit to implement and utilize. Um, and asking the client for the first time, that you've already had a consultation with, you've already shown some properties, and saying, hey, I hope you don't mind, I just can't make it out to Florence for those showings, I'm with other clients at the same time, would you mind, if I had a showing agent open these doors for you? That's their purpose, they love opening doors, they're not going to be your negotiators, I'm still your agent. Would you be okay with that? Asking the question. Yeah, absolutely. The client said, okay, great. And then it came up again Friday night. It was, unfortunately a time I couldn't get to Apache Junction. And I said, I really, really would love to show you the property. Unfortunately, I just can't make it at this time. Are you okay with using showing agent? And she had such a good experience the first time that she's like, yeah, no problem. Because she knows as soon as she's done with that showing, if she likes the property, I'm going to follow up, see how it went. And we're going to, if she likes the property, we're going to put an offer and do our best to get the property for her.
Feels good, huh?
It feels really good. Yeah, it's actually an amazing feeling to be doing work and not have to be the center of the work, and have somebody else do it for you that really loves, that part of the business. I think a lot of agents, and even myself, I thought that I was, providing great value with showing a home, when actually, when a client sees a home and they like the home, that that's not anything you said or did, it's whether or not they see themselves and their family, growing up and creating memories in that home, and if it works for their what their goals and motivations are.
Yeah, as our friend Dave Zazinski always says, there is value in the client seeing the home, but he says there's no value in me showing the home. And I've always loved the way he's positioned that, because it's not as if you're saying there's no value in that process. There's a ton of value, huge value. Probably the linchpin. If you don't see the house, where else does the process go? So it's
Right.
just, that doesn't have to be your value. I was talking to an agent recently about this process, and they just really couldn't process it quite yet. And that's totally fine. And, I was saying like, hey, like, could you imagine the guy who owns Costco doing that little highlighter thing when you're walking out? They do the highlighter on the receipt, and they kind of look, and they make like, I don't even think they really look. I think it's just more like, there is somebody here watching, that you can't just run out of here. But they do that little highlighter thing. They highlight it off. Someone walks out. I'm like, do you think he could scale a company if he thought that like he was going to check out people, do the highlighter thing, go in the back or do the janitor services? And so it's like there's value in every one of those things, but doesn't have to be the value of specific people. And so I really like that you ran with that, because when I saw it the first time on your Instagram, I was like, I mean, it's classic signs of somebody who's going to it's classic signs of somebody who's going to scale a business. The person who has to hold on to everything, you can only go so far, because you've got personal life, you've got vacations, you've got family, you've got other things to do, right? And so it's like it's so hard to scale a company when you can't let go of certain things. So I've always noticed like those people who can let go of things, they just start. 2 months later, they're like, ooh, I can let go of that. 2 months later, like, ooh, I can let go of that. And then you wake up and you're like, I'm actually only doing 10% of probably what this business takes to do. And then I think that's when that 80-20 rule kicks in. That's what I'm noticing is about 20% of the activities lead to about 80% of the results. And so it's just like finding out like what are those most important 20% of the activities to do in the business that lead to 80% of the results. And so that's super cool that you're on that path. Do you think that you'll get to a point where you utilize that more? Or is
I
that
will.
still like a little hard for you where it's like, if it's far, I'll do it, but if it was close, I wouldn't?
Yeah, I think, I definitely will, as I change my buyer consultation focus and do Zoom, buyer consultations, because again, still 75 to 80% of my business is coming from out of state. I'm sure probably very much like yours. So a lot of it is our video tours or FaceTime tours, but again, between my wife and business partner Sandra, her being a showing agent for us, and using Shoami agents, I definitely can see it. As again, if we want to scale up our business, leverage is going to be that key. I know that, and again, as you said, it's part of the playbook, right? It's part of the playbook that you have set out, and you know a lot of people pick and choose which plays they want to run. And one of my old mentors used to say it's like chocolate chip cookies. If you leave out one key ingredient, your cookies are going to suck. Well, you have a proven playbook that's been in place. You've been closing over 100 transactions a year. That playbook, if you pick and choose versus using all the aspects of the playbook, you're not going to close 100 transactions. But if you truly want to do it and still have your life and travel and have vacations, you have to use leverage like this.
What are you most excited about, Mike, in the next like year?
I think to me, it's all about the opportunity. One of the most important factors of joining EXP is just being around the table of people that you've introduced me to that are just number one. I would say, as we talked about on our call yesterday, amazing people. Truly amazing people that care. So to me, it's about learning, continuing to grow. I'm a firm believer in the compound effect. If we can all get 1% better every single day, I mean, that has a huge impact. And I'm just really, really excited to see our business grow, continue to help more people. I mean, that's really what it's about. It's helping more people achieve their goals and really scaling our business up. Just super excited about spreading the word about, what we can do, to help you at EXP. Again, the systems, the playbook, the tools, again, what you can get out of it, again, are just being at the table with people that truly care and want to help you run a business without, running your life and
What
ruining,
what's the one thing you would say to a agent who is dependent on someone else's leads? You've been through that, right? So it's like, what would you say is the one piece of advice that for an agent that's like, hey, I'm on a team or I'm at a spot where like I get leads from somebody and I'm on a huge split. Like, what would be your biggest advice for that person?
Biggest advice I would say is take a bet on yourself. There's a lot of amazing agents out there that have amazing service, great communication skills. I think it's, being at a large brokerage has its advantages, to learn the business, to learn the administrative and have some of that support on the back end. But I also think that you can absolutely build your business, have your own leads, not have to give back, have amazing support at the same time. So, again, it's about taking a bet on yourself. And like you said before, you don't have to spend thousands of dollars a month, to do this. You can start small, start with $750 a month. I mean, look at, Jenna, that's, she's done that. She's doing amazing. And a lot of people, so I think that's probably one of the misconceptions is that you have to spend thousands of dollars to get started. It's just not the case. Just think about it. Lead number 4, turns into, $25,000-$30,000 commission when it's all said and done. With a lead cost of $10 to $13 per lead, so take a bet on yourself. You can absolutely do this. If I can do this, you can do this.
That's cool, Mike. Man, I'm so stoked for you. I'm super excited for you. I'm glad we met each other on Instagram. I'm glad we went to coffee that day, and I'm super thankful for your friendship. You're a super good businessman. You're super structured. And you've turned into a cool friend. So thank you so much for, jumping on the podcast and telling your story. Going to have you back again soon. But any last parting words that you would like to say?
No, I just want to say thank you to you and Brittany for your friendship and partnership. We could not have done this without your support and guidance. And again, if you haven't looked at Chris's Bootcamp online, AgentXcel, check it out. If you haven't been to his referral class, get there next week, whenever his next class is, because his classes are absolutely amazing. And again, if you have questions that you have regarding joining our team, I'd love to help you out. We're in this together, and just couldn't be more grateful for you, Dave Z, Kevin, Fred, everyone that I've come in contact with. We're just super grateful to be part of the team in this family, this amazing tribe. So thank you. And thanks for having me on the show.
It's a fun crew, man. We're going to do big things, aren't we?
Yes,
100%. Thanks for the kind words, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Mike, for jumping on, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.